All right, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the Victory Post podcast. And today we have a very special guest. He's been my friend since 2001. We went to the First Farm HQ trip, and that's where we met. And we've been friends ever since. And of course, that's what First Farm does. You create very good and impenetrable friends. So, um, John, welcome to my podcast, and thank you for being here.
Hey man, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Like you said, we've been friends for a couple years now since 2021, and we've grown our friendship since then. And it's been great and an honor to see you. It's amazing you have your own podcast, and how an honor to be on it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just trying. Trying to be a better person every day. And increase my social awareness too in doing this. So, so yeah. So we're gonna start. John, can you tell us just a little bit about yourself to begin with?
Yep, my name's Jonathan Nossa. Live here in Columbus, Ohio. 43 years old, a father of three, two boys, one girl. A veteran as well. Spent 20 years in the military, 8 years in the Marine Corps, and my last 13 were in the Air Force. So retired back in 2019. Started my personal training business after that, and then here I am now.
Nice. So you see, that's what we call credentials. Very good credentials. Thank you for serving. Thank you for serving for this country. We appreciate that. Um, so tell us a little bit about your journey to fitness.
My This is great because it's always awesome to be able to tell your own story.
Yep.
I think a lot of people tend to think uh, people who get in certain positions, are unrelatable, but in reality, we're no different than anybody else. It's just how much work are you really are willing to put in to get to where you really want to be. My fitness journey started about 5 years ago. I'd gotten to a point while I was in the military where I'd gotten not to a place where I was happy with. And in the military, we hold a standard for ourselves. We got to lead by example, and that was something I was not doing for myself. So I had to take a long, hard look in the mirror one day, hold myself accountable, and saying that you really need to change your ways, and this isn't the way you're going to be able to lead people. So when I started my fitness journey 5 years ago, everything's just taken off from there, and I haven't looked back.
Nice, nice. I'm I'm glad you chose the healthy way. Um, so yeah. So tell us. I know you just spoke a little bit about being a veteran, but can you dive more into it? I want to know more.
More about my veteran side.
Yeah, yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah. My first 8 years in the military were, like I said, we're in the Marine Corps. I loved it. Loved I still have a lot of friends who I talk to. Even as of last night, we talk almost every day. Great
Nice.
camaraderie in the military. Like I said, spent 8 years. Did a tour in Iraq. Lost a lot of brothers. So that's something I fight for every day. And then my brothers who did come back home, who suffer. That's kind of also where I'm going to lead to. What led me into my fitness journey was I'm a big advocate for mental health. So I see a lot of my brothers struggling. I struggled in the past as well, but I was able to get past that. So I use a lot of what I do in the fitness industry to show people that, there's always a way to get past it. And I truly, truly believe that being fit and healthy and your well-being is truly what will get you through anything.
All right, nice, nice, nice. And I know you just touch a little bit about bodybuilding and all that stuff. So can you tell me bodybuilding? Why bodybuilding? Why?
Well, when I started my journey, that once like I said, 5 years ago, I went on a path where I said, I just want to be healthy. And then from the point where I got to being healthy again, is just like I kept one upping myself. What level can I get to next? What level can I get to next? And then within 11 months of starting my journey, um, someone had brought up to me, why don't you just go do a bodybuilding show? You're already getting to that point, might as well as do it. I was going to be honest, I was afraid at first, but I'm never afraid of a challenge, always willing to put myself out of my comfort zone,
Oh yeah.
So went and did a show. I didn't do too good that show, but spent another 3 years after that competing, working hard in the off season and everything, and then finally got my pro card. So that was an
Okay.
amazing feeling in the OCB for
Nice.
men's league.
Nice. So bodybuilding is amazing because I'm a bodybuilder myself. I do more of the NENBF side of pro shows, which has been amazing for me.
Yep.
However, can you tell me there are so many natural shows in this country, like so many. So what made you go with OCB?
OCB was newer here in Ohio at the
Okay.
time. And honestly, I just Googled natural bodybuilding shows and they were the first one to come up.
Okay.
But what kept me going with the OCB was the friendships that I grew within the OCB as well. Not just with athletes, but the promoter there. She was amazing, great people there. And then just competing more over the years actually kind of led me into uh, OCB, their director, marketing director, and everything reached out to me. They called me and said, "Hey, we'd like to get you started as a promoter if you'd be willing to take a position and get Columbus, Ohio going." So it was awesome going from pro and then being able to now promote shows as well.
Nice, nice. So you got a call and you picked up the call, huh? So that's good. That's good. So you knew becoming that will put you into the being an entrepreneur. Were you ready for that? How did you decide that you want to go for that along with your full time job and all that stuff? How did you come up with that?
How did I come up with being a promoter or the
Yeah,
idea?
deciding to be a promoter along with all the stuff you have going on.
Well, in all honesty, like I said, I'm 43 years old right now. And what I was looking at, that you got to be real with yourself, and you're really not going to start a huge bodybuilding career at a certain age, right?
Yeah.
Um, and I still fell in love with the sport, and where I'm at now in life is helping people more achieve their goals. And I saw that as a great opportunity to be able to promote shows. And I remember that feeling of competing and trying just so hard to go for my pro card that I wanted to finally be able to give that dream to people and create shows for them. So last year was my first show. I put out 7 pros for my first show. So that was amazing, amazing feeling. And still have friendships with those guys too. So, like I said, the OCB creates good relationships just past those shows. So
Okay. It's really tough to juggle a lot of things like being a promoter, being an OCB promoter, having kids, you have your own full time job. How did you build that mental toughness to be able to keep going with all that
well, that really came from my experience in the 20 years in the military,
in the military? Okay.
just from there, just it was probably the greatest experience I'll never take it back for anything. I know a lot of people might look back and say they wish they could have done something different, but joining the military has put me in the position, even though nothing's, everyone can say they have a hard life, and we all have these hard moments in our life, but
Yeah.
those moments that I got to a certain point in my life where like I started accepting all these hard things in life, and like this is just something to get me to where I want to go. If something's pushing me to go backwards in life, it's there for a reason to teach me to go in a different direction and keep pushing forward. So I've just been able to grow that mentality over the years of like failure and things that are happening in life are all part of success, and it's just going to lead you to the ultimate goal.
Okay. So that's good because in life you do have to fail in order to be successful, right? Because if you don't fail, then what are you learning, right? You
Right?
ain't learning nothing. You have to fail in order to be under the pressure to make it.
Exactly.
So,
And like
um,
you know as well, like failing the show in bodybuilding only pushes you that much harder to go for the next one.
oh yeah,
So
oh yeah. Oh yeah, and of course we've had a lot of people who are very bitter whenever they feel, especially during bodybuilding. They don't want to do it anymore. They keep on criticizing the judges or the athletes, but again, it all boils down to what your mentality, right? It all boils down to your mentality, being able to stand up and say, you know what, I want this thing, so I want to go for it, even though I feel today it's gonna push me to success. So let's get it. So
Exactly.
and that's what you're doing. It's quite amazing to have you as a friend and to learn from you. Being a promoter, being a bodybuilder, being with First Form and everything is a dream. We all want to change that. So thank you for setting that path for everyone.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah. Yep. So let's talk more about you. I want to get to know you. I want my audience to get to know you. So give the audience a feel about you.
I guess, I mean, you can say I'm a big people person, and a lot of people
Okay.
can always tell that from what I've ever heard of meeting people, they can tell I'm genuine, humble, and they can definitely tell that I like to put others first. And in reality, I wasn't that way growing up younger. I wasn't that way when I first started my fitness journey. I was a little bit more of a selfish person, and it wasn't really till like the end of my military career and going through bodybuilding and seeing how you can inspire people was really what led me into where I'm at now. And truly, I always say this with whatever I do, even on social media, is I'm here to change the world. And I truly, honestly, in my mind, envision that and believe that I can change the world. And that really just happens one person at a time. So
Okay.
that's what I'm here to do, regardless of whether I'm going to accomplish it or not. I don't know. But that's the goal that I have. And that's really who
Nice.
the person you're going to meet when you meet me.
Sweet, sweet, and I've seen that about you, and I appreciate that about you. So keep it up, keep it going, never give up. Um, so yeah, so when we talk about winning, let's talk a little bit about the people you've helped because that was what you talked about recently. So you've helped a lot of people. You like helping a lot of people. So let's talk more about that. You do have clients, right? You do have clients. So let's talk more about your clients. How how many of your clients out there feel like John is the man to go to?
Well, I don't know if I'm the man to go to, but it's like I guess I didn't really put that part in the like talking about myself as a personal trainer now. That's something that I did. Retired from the military back in 2019 when I grew a passion for helping people with their fitness and then started my own personal training business. I've been able to help people now lose anywhere from 5 to 80 pounds, and it's
Mm,
really just it's creating that ripple effect where people around them are seeing that, family
yeah.
members are seeing that, and now they're coming to me, and I absolutely love that. Like I take greater pride in that than anything I've ever done in my life to be able to help people get their health back. I have one lady now, Jessica, who lost 80 pounds last year, and she's been able to get her life back. She was a diabetic. She's got off her diabetic medicine. Her health all around, mental health is better, and she knows that without fitness, she wouldn't be able to get to where she's at now because she had a pretty rough year last year where she lost her father. But she was able to come back from that just from going through her journey and getting her health back and getting her mental state healthy again. So to be able to give people that strength to be able to fight when they're going through hard problems is just it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling.
Wow. Yeah, that's a very good story right there. To be able to help someone lose 80 good pounds in a year. 80 good pounds in a year.
Yeah,
Wow.
it wasn't easy. It was a hard task for her, but as a coach, you got to know how far your people are willing to go and how far you can push them. And she was an ex-athlete, a college athlete, and she had the mentality. I knew she had it in there. We just had to get it back out of
Get it
her.
back up. Okay. Wow. I'm still in shock because 80 pounds within a year is amazing fit. And um, as I said, I do learn a lot from you and the other folks that I met at First Form. And um, I I also keep pushing my clients to be better and not compare themselves to anyone but themselves. And I learned all this stuff from amazing people like you, amazing people like Tommy, from Andy, from Cody, and all that, all those people from First Form. So now I would like to ask you one thing: what really led you into First Form?
Well, it's crazy, right? Like everything happens for a reason in life. So, started my journey, which led me into becoming an OCB pro. OCB pro led me into becoming a promoter. All that led me into starting my own personal training business. And then it just happened to be that the gym I started working at had First Form products there. Um, I hadn't looked at the products. I didn't really know much about First Form. But just one day, I don't know what clicked in me. I started looking at the product, looking at when I take a product myself, I want to make sure it's a good, high quality product, right? So looking at it, I was like, man, this is a great ingredient. I'm going to start researching into the company a little bit more. So when I started researching into the company a little bit more, I noticed they had an athlete search. And I was like, well, why not, right?
Yeah, why
Everything
not?
was
Yep.
why not, right? Where my life is heading right now, with fitness, I was like, why can't I be the next athlete? So put in for the athlete search. We had a couple of tasks we had to do to get there. And then, we were talking earlier in the show. We met at HQ. We both had won a trip out there at that moment. And that's where I met you. And that's where I kind of fell in line with First Form. And I haven't looked back since then either.
Yeah, yeah. So that's good. That's good. So the way you found First Form was kind of different from mine. However, we all had the same end goal in mind, right? To become either an athlete or something else for First Form, right?
Correct.
And the way I was introduced to First Form was by a good friend of mine, Lisa Gore, Gore, and she is an amazing friend. She's helped me. She is in an arete, so she knows Andy. So she introduced me to First Form, introduced me to who Andy is and everything. And since then, I've really felt in love with First Form. Their product is excellent, very good quality, and you just can't beat their product for sure. I tell you that right away. You can't beat their product. It's one of the best in the world. So
Correct. And it's
yeah,
not just about the product, right? Like a lot of people look at them as just a supplement company,
yep,
but they're really there to, like I said, how I talk about I want to change the world is their mission as well.
yep,
And they truly believe, like their main goal is to give real people real long-term results. And that means a whole lot more that we can get into depth later because we're going to talk about what it takes to be a coach
yep,
there. But when you join a company and you can see that, your core values start lining up with theirs, it's an amazing thing when you can think, okay, now I can join a team who's really serious about changing the world.
yep. That's true. That's very true. It's not all about the product for First Form, of course. It's about the people. It's all
Exactly.
about the people. They do care about you. It's all about the culture that you grew up when you were in First Form. And even for those who aren't in First Form, they really feel the culture. Because whenever there is a show, whenever they host a show, and you go over there, you really feel that culture. You really feel like you belong to First Form, and that is what makes First Form the one of the best companies to work for, or to even look up to. You know.
Yeah,
So so yeah. John, I want to thank you. You came to this podcast, talked about your life, your fitness journey. So thank you very much for sharing all that stuff. Before I leave you though, before I make you go, um, I want you to give the general population or the general audience three top tips and advice to live with.
Say that again.
Three top tips or advice to live with.
To live with?
Yeah.
Well, the biggest thing I can leave you with is something I left the military with. I had a chief who is the highest rank that you can actually reach within the Air Force tell me as he was retiring. Always stay humble and always take care of your people. So that's two things I can give you. And while you're taking care of your people, make sure you're always leading by example because you can't ask people to do something you don't want to do for
I want to
yourself.
do. All right. So, folks, you got it. Very three top tips. Lead by example, right? It's always you always have to lead by example. You always have to make sure that you put in the work in order to have someone also put in the work. Because if you don't do it, man, they ain't gonna do it.
Exactly.
So yeah. So thank you very much for this top tips. I hope everyone watching really took this advice into heart and are ready to make good use of it. So thank you all for coming. And John, thank you for being on my podcast. I'm sure
Hey,
they're gonna
appreciate
see
it.
you. I'm sure they're gonna see you next week for the next episode as we venture more into the Legionnaire aspect of first form.
Yeah, I can't wait, man.
Yeah. So thank you for coming, and everyone, see you next week.